Now while you're watching this video, please remember to like, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon for notification of future videos, and share this video also. Thank you.
Well, hello there, welcome back to my channel, guys. Yes, so today I have yet again another amazing video for you. Now I must apologize for having been absent for 2 days, and that is Monday and yesterday. I just really needed a break, guys. That is just a long and short of it, but nevertheless I will fulfill my quota, which is at least 5 videos per week. Now, as you can see, the title suggests Sex Talk 101, why women and especially Christian women should seek to satisfy their man or husband sexually. Right, this is what we want to talk about in this video. Now, what I am going to look at is basically a number of deterrents that can actually deter a woman from finding a lifetime partner that she can basically call her own. And in order to salvage that, I'm going to show you where sex is one of the way in which you can actually salvage those deterrent then, so to speak. Right? Now, the number of deterrents that we are going to look at are the types of deterrents. One, whether you have any form of baggage. Now, when I say baggage, I am talking about, like, for instance, a child or children, and especially if it's a female, right? That's one of the deterrents. We are also going to look at looks, we are going to look at wealth, and we are going to look at health, right? We are going to look at wealth, and we are going to look at health, and we are going to look at looks, and we are also going to look at options, right? And when I say options, I mean how much options does a woman have when it comes to dating and so on, right? That's what we're going to look at. And the first thing that I'm going to address is the aspect of children. Now, you don't need me to explain and give you the reasons why having a child is actually a deterrent from finding a lifetime partner. And yes, we know that the Bible says children are a heritage unto the Lord, right? And we know that children are a blessing. Fine, I'm cool with that. But when it comes to the whole dating game, a child or having children can actually be a deterrent in you finding a partner. Because, hey, let's face it, not many of us want to be a stepmom or worse, a stepdad. In fact, it is easier for a woman to decide to be a stepmom rather than a man deciding to be a stepdad. And I'm going to lay out to you the reasons why this is. I'm going to make this as quick as possible. When it comes to a male and a female, you see, if you have a daughter, it's an even greater deterrent, right, for a man than if you have a son. And you see the many allegations of stepdad molesting daughter and so on, and many times it's not even true. And sometimes it could be true, but then the daughter could probably somewhat do some things that provokes the man and may even cause him to actually fool around with her. It does happen, you know. She wear whatever she feel like to wear in the house. She expose herself and sometimes probably deliberately provoke the man. And because it's not his biological daughter, he can't probably command her and say, oh, don't do this and stuff. Maybe he can, you know. But then she might still not listen. You get what I'm saying? So many men are afraid of these things, right? And even when it comes to a son too as well. We know that boy children is very harder to deal with. It's very harder to discipline and so forth rather than a girl child. And I have a little brother, right? And he's a testament to that fact. There are a lot of things that can actually go wrong. Maybe not initially in the initial stage. Let's say, for instance, your son is probably 10-year-old, 5-year-old. But by the time he become a teenager and start to go to puberty stage, Will I, the man, be able to deal with what comes with having a teenager? Worse, he becomes a delinquent. It starts to hang out with bad company and so forth, and he becomes a quote-unquote bad man or a gangster. This is what he's turning out to be. I can't talk to him, I can't discipline him, and if I try that, my life could probably be endangered, and maybe he might go toe-to-toe with me and basically fight me. Yeah, I probably have a disagreement with his mother, and he doesn't like it, and he chooses to challenge me because what? I am not his father. These things happen, you know. I can give him my own personal experience, seeing a stepdad basically disciplining my brother, and I was very much displeased with it. I've never thought about it before, thought much on it, but now that I'm doing this video, it just all the more, as I'm thinking on it, it just all the more proves my point by just my example. I was displeased with it because what? He's not his father. He's not his father, so he can't, sure he can try to discipline him, you know, but he has to be careful because I am not going to be pleased with that as his older brother. And I'm saying this to you because I the man, talk to you and you have a son. That son happens to have other sibling, right? Older, who are adults and so forth. They're not going to be pleased with me actually disciplining their younger brother, and I am not his father. They're not going to be pleased with that. So you see, it's a total gamble. And just imagine now, I'm spending my money and so forth, and I'm spending more money because I have two mouths to feed, one of which is not my child, right? What are you going to do? And you know, the women oftentimes say, no, you don't need to give him anything, but that's not so simple. Anyway you take it as a man, you will end up incur some form of expense somewhere along the line for that child. It's a must, right? Because if you accept the woman, you know, you have to accept the child, you know. And part of that acceptance as the man who is a provider, you're going to have to spend additional money because of the child. Worse when the child actually lives with the mother and you. It is not so when it comes to women, you know. When a woman decides to be with a man with his children, what it takes for what it costs her, you know, is more energy and time. But because no woman is going to say, oh, my stepchild, here is $20,000 to contribute to school fee. No. Sure, one and two women may do that, you know, but a woman don't have to worry at all about that because their role is not to provide, so she's not going to end up incur expense, right, when it comes to the child. She might, you know, but it's not a must that she will, and it's probably minuscule in comparison to the man, because a man's genetical thing about men is we provide, right? So it's easier for women to take on a man with children than for a man to decide. Men just don't want to do that. Yes, we do it sometimes, but you as a woman has to encourage us to want to actually do it. And how will you encourage us? Sex. Yes, I said it, sex. Because if you have a child, you know, and worse, you're not financially stable, that we can say, well, she doesn't need a cent because she has it made and so forth. So fine, why not? But when we look and we see that you are not so stable where that is concerned, right? The first thing that is going to come to our mind, yes, additional expense. So what are you going to do in order to persuade me to actually be with you? Oh, I'm going to be so helpful to you, and I'm going to be the best wife and so forth. Hey, we're living in modern times. Men don't necessarily need women to actually cook for them. That's a want. Those days are over. We don't need any woman to basically clean and do whatever in house and so forth. There's washing machine, and there's all different types of things that are basically made that can assist us in household duties and so forth. We can hire a one-day nanny, and it would cost us probably less than to basically be in a relationship with you. But here's what we cannot do. Have sex with ourselves. We can't have sex with ourselves. So how you are going to basically persuade us to be with you? It is through sex. Whether you believe it or not, I know that it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is through sex. It is through sex, right? Now, if I learn that you have these baggages, and I say to you, are you comfortable with doggy style? Are you comfortable with cowgirl? And you said to me, oh no, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus like that. Let me not try to disrespect him. Yes, like the guy that you see on the thumbnail, and you're going to come and say to me that, oh, that's a scene you don't want to turn back way and let me basically blow out your back. Or you're not going to give me a cowgirl style, anything like that, because you're not a quote unquote cow. That's what he said, the videos are down there in the link, you can see. He says, women, you're not a cow, so you shouldn't give cowgirl style. Cowgirl is when you get on top and you basically ride the man then, so to speak. Right? And you tell me that you have all the baggage and so forth, and you're not going to satisfy my sexual desires. Girl, you know what I'm going to do? You see, if we're having a conversation, right, and I normally text you, you see when the next day come, you're going to be wondering, how is it that you haven't heard from me all day? And what I'm going to do is to basically slowly ghost you. You know that term called ghost? That is what I'm going to slowly do, because it doesn't make any sense. It's a total waste of time for me to be with you. To me, that's like a bad bargain. I'm going to feed you, and I'm going to feed a child that is not mine. You're broke, right? And and the money that you have is insignificant to me. And I'm going to pour out all of that to you and not get sexual satisfaction. What's the point in being in a relationship with you? Now you see what I'm saying? How dangerous it is, right? For heretics like Ellen G. White and Pastor Andrew Scott to basically put bedroom laws and so forth. What they're doing more harm than good, actually, to put in bedroom laws and so forth, right? Now, let's turn now and go to something else. Let us talk about looks. You're fat, right? And you're overweight or fat. Overweight or fat, right? And you're not very good looking. This means that the odds are against you, because we men, we go after what we see. Why should I be with you when there are other women that better looking and doesn't weigh as much as you do? It has to be sex, You're broke on top of it, So it's not to say that it's going to be a financial benefit for me to be in a relationship with you. The only way you could possibly get a man and keep a man, it is through sex. If you're fat, you're not very good looking, right? And you don't have the money, you have to consider pleasing the man. That and that alone will actually inspire him, right? Or encourage him to stay in with you. Why? Because despite the deficit, you give bomb ass sex. Despite the deficit. Now let me stretch this a bit further now. You have an illness. And because of that illness, from time to time, you're going to be out of it. That's going to affect me where sex is concerned, And not just sex, it's going to affect me where household duties is concerned, because you're not going to be able to really put in serious work where the house is concerned. The only way to encourage me to actually stay in a relationship with you, whenever you're not feeling ill and you're able, you have to give me incredible sex, right? In order to motivate me to want to stay with you. Then I can, because what I can say to myself, well, despite all of this, I get great sex from her. And that motivates me to continue being in a relationship with you and be understanding, simply because of the sex. Let's talk about disability. You're disabled. You're crippled. You're confined to a wheelchair. I can't blow out your back, right? And the likelihood of you giving me a cowgirl position is going to be difficult. You could probably do the reverse cowgirl, but then I'm going to have to use excessive energy to basically help you, so to speak, right? So I'm going to have to use my hands, and I'm going to have to be the one to basically move you as you go. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because you're crippled, right? And you're not going to be able to do it like that. what are you going to have to do? I'm afraid, I'm sorry to say it, but you're going to have to make up for that deficit in order to inspire me or to motivate me to be in a relationship with you and to continue in that relationship. You're going to have to make up for that deficit. Remember, there are other women out there who is not crippled, right? And they can do all the styles, you can't. And to add to you being crippled, and it's not a financial benefit because you're broke. When I say broke, I don't mean literally broke now, but it's not like you get $100K or $200,000 a month for pay and you're making this amount of money when I can say, alright, it's a benefit to be with you. No, none of that. Why should I stay with you? If you're not willing to basically spice up things a bit, right, to make up for the deficit, what you lack, right, sexually. Sorry guys, if you're not willing to make up for the deficit, what you lack sexually, right, you're going to have to try to do something else to spice up the relationship. And what you might end up have to do in order to spice up that relationship, yes, I'm going to say that taboo word in Jamaica. It is oral sex. Whether you want to believe it or not, I know that that's going to rub some persons in a negative way, especially Jamaicans. But whether you believe it or not, I'm being frank with you and I'm being plain. If you have a particular type of illness or disability that renders you incapable of giving a certain type of sexual delivery, then for many persons, this is what they end up have to resort to in order to give that extra spice or extra boom to their relationship. Right? So, the next thing that I'm going to basically look at, my phone battery somewhat went down, so pardon me for the light. But the next thing that we are going to have to look at now is options. How much options do you have as a woman, right, in terms of finding a man? Now, we are going to look at outside of the world before we get to church. Even in the world, there are less males out there, right, that you can basically claim for yourself. There are less males out there. You have to take into considerations the amount of men who actually goes to prison daily, the amount of men who die daily, and the amount of men who are basically gruff, and the amount of men who actually make money legitimately. When I say legitimately, I mean to say that if you're talking to a guy who makes money through criminality, it's likely that your relationship with him is going to be short-lived, right? You want to find a man who basically makes money the legal way so that the relationship with him can have more longevity. You don't have much options, ladies. So you find a man, he's level-headed, he's not a quote-unquote gruff then, so to speak, right? He's level-headed, he's in a good job and so forth, and there are not much options out there, and he's a good man, right? And you're going to make, simply because you are iffy, right, on certain sexual matters, on the grounds of you thinking that it's a sin, not that you think that you're not comfortable with it, We all have things that we are not comfortable with, right, sexually. We're talking, you in your mind, it's a sin, right? So therefore, you're not going to engage in these things. You know what's going to happen? You reduce the likelihood of you finding a partner for yourself. Because guess what? You see what you're not willing to do? Mark you, he will be able to find another girl that is willing to do it. You don't have much options. Now let's talk about in the church. Right? Let's talk about in the church. So in the church, it is even worse. Right? When I say worse, I have been to so many churches where I can literally count on my 5 fingers how much men is actually there. So you're so fortunate that you find some guy who visits church one day and is interested in you and he's telling you what he likes sexually, and you're going to be like, that's not my kind of thing. On the grounds of you think it's a sin. What you just did is basically lower your possibility of actually finding a husband. And men are not coming in the church any faster than women, you know. So chances are it might take the next year or 2, 5 years again before you actually get another opportunity like that. And you're going to let, because of sex, right, you basically pass up that opportunity. Trust me, ladies, that is just simply not wise at all. Now let's say you don't have any baggage, right? You don't have any children, you're very good looking, right? And you have wealth and you have health, right? Your options, it has increased significantly, you know. So if you're in this position, right, you in this position is going to have more right to say, oh, I'm not into this and I'm not into that, right? Because you know, in terms of the dating game, you now have more options. Why? Because you're good looking, you have wealth, you have health, and you don't have a child. So your possibility of finding a man, irrespective of that, and you're stuck up when it comes to sexual things, you still have possibilities it's still likely that you can find a man. But there's a big but. What type of man you will basically find? The type of man that that you could probably find, right? And that man is faithful to you, he won't stray. It has to be a man that is basically lower than you. And when I say lower than you, he has less wealth, and maybe he's not very good looking, and so forth. So it's more of a benefit to him to be in a relationship with you. So you might say, all right, I'm finding a hot girl, she has money and so forth, and she's willing to give me some of the money. So this guy is willing to give you all the pleasure there is, and you don't have to return the favor. You don't have to worry yourself about pleasing him in a way that for you is not comfortable. And I specifically said, you know, a certain type of man, you know, because if there is a man, you know, that has all the money, right, and so forth, irrespective of your good looks, he's not going to look at you, honey. I'm very sorry, right? He's not going to look at you because he can't get the sexual satisfaction that he needs. And remember now, you know, sex is a big thing for a man, right? So you're not going to be able to get those type of men, because there are going to be other women out there that is healthy, right? Perhaps have money too, and they don't have any children, right? And they are good looking. He's going to be able to find women out there that has all of that, right? And they are willing to do the things that you want. So I'm sorry, you won't be able to find those type of men and to keep those type of men if you're stuck up sexually. And so this is what I'm saying to you. It is not profitable for you women to actually listen to the counsel of what the pastor that I did videos on refuting. You saw the thumbnail. The videos is in the comment section. It is not practical and profitable for you to actually listen to these heretical individuals who basically make unbiblical claims about you doing certain sexual things in the bedroom within the confines of marriage between you and your partner alone. If you listen to these individuals, you're going to lose significantly. You're going to lose significantly where relationship is concerned. Trust me. Right, guys? Now, I'm saying this to you because I sincerely care about you ladies. If you're a woman and you're watching this, I want to see you thrive, especially where relationship is concerned. Right? And I don't want, right, this simply because you think certain things are sin, which they are not, and just because of that you lose out and finding someone who could perhaps make you happily ever after. Because in truth and in fact, you know, you having a money, you know, it doesn't really move us men, you know, even if you have money, you know, because our natural instincts is to basically provide. When we seek women, we don't seek women for their money. We seek women for comfort, sexual satisfaction, and many other things, but definitely not money. We seek women for help too, to basically help us with achieving our goals and our purpose and household things and so forth. That is what we seek women for, not for money. So having your money basically won't move us. So my closing message for you today is to basically consider the things that I'm saying to you. Just consider the things that I'm saying to you. When it comes to marriage, right, there is no sin where sex is concerned in marriage. There is no sin. All things are right in the marital bed. And you notice I made this message by saying why women should satisfy their men and especially Christian women, because this message is not just for Christian women alone. If you're a woman and you want to know the Bible's teaching where this is concerned, if you should stand before God right now as a non-Christian woman and you haven't given your life to the Lord, He's going to judge you on the grounds of that you never cherish your body as a temple, right? And that you weren't sexually pure, right? Your temple has been defiled because you've been with this man and you've been with that man. God is not going to say because you went down on a man, or because you made him turn your back way and blow your back out, or because you went on top of him and give him a cowgirl position. No. That's not what God's going to judge you for, because God could care zero, right, what you do with that man sexually. What He cares about is the fact that you did it to him and he's not married to you. So you don't need to feel guilty, non-Christian women, whatever you do with a man sexually. Feel guilty if he's not your husband, or if you're doing that to another woman, or if you're doing that to a man that by biblical standards you can't marry, right? If you're related to him and so on, or if you're doing that to an animal. That's the only thing God is going to judge you for. But your husband, no. So I end this video, and I do hope that you enjoy it. If you did, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned next week, right, where I talk about Sex 101, why men should actually please their women, and especially Christian men. Right? Look forward for it. Bye-bye now.